I think in like the animated series, it is like canon that the only thing Joker fears is the IRS. That's like a joke.
That is a joke.
Yeah.
It's like, I can run from Batman, but you cannot run from the IRS or something like that. Yeah.
That's funny as fuck.
Yeah, that's
I can't even lie. That's funny as
Oh, dude.
Was that good?
Whoa. Tom, slow down. That's not in the script. I have the episode of Teen Titans called Haunted. It's the one where Robin hallucinates Slade coming back to life.
Oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah. I remember being like alone, like at my house when I was a kid, like in the dark watching that episode.
AJ, are you okay?
Welcome to this month's episode of Family Therapy.
It's time to heal, the show where we heal.
Oh my God.
Welcome back to another episode of Tom Hates Albums.
Boy, do I.
I'm your host, AJ Tenari.
I'm Matt Glass.
And I'm Tom Murphy.
Last time we took a look at Radiohead's OK Computer to much lackluster fanfare from Tom.
I mean, that's just that's
par for the course.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be a problem if I liked it. Probably.
That's true. That would go against the title of the series.
The viewers would all leave.
That's true. They would scream and they would cry.
There are no viewers.
Yeah. Not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe
Someday.
this is the one.
Someday we'll get a listener.
Exactly. Besides all the celebrities that constantly listen to this podcast.
Well, yeah. Well, they don't listen. They just invade.
Yeah, that they do.
They just show up.
They find
door.
the bunker somehow.
Hey, an audience is an audience.
Well,
you
we
know what I mean?
doxed ourselves
A couple times.
Yeah, Providence has seen better days, let me tell you.
That it has. Though, seeing that it is the month of February, the month of love, and seeing that Tom is one who hates albums, I thought we'd bring on an album that is the antithesis of love, and that is Loveless by My Bloody Valentine.
That was the album.
That it was.
It's beautiful to see Matt sigh
You feel
on one of
seen?
these episodes. Yeah.
For those who don't
Even
know,
if I had liked the album, I would have been thrilled to see one of you dislike an album on this show.
it hasn't happened yet, but today might be that day for Matt.
For people who don't know and have not been listening to all of our episodes, which is a lot of you probably.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Yes, welcome. Thank you for
We
listening.
do have some new listeners, so thank you.
We appreciate
If
it.
you're a returning listener, fuck off. No, I'm just kidding.
No, thank
I
you
like
even
guys.
more.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, yeah, we're supposed to be nice to them?
Yes.
I thought this was the trauma episode.
This is like
Yes,
the same.
we're projecting.
It's
Yeah,
like
we're
the same
projecting.
energy as a couple months ago when you were just like, I get it if you don't want to listen to us. I get it though.
If you're not into this, we get it. Have a good night.
Please try to get it.
So for
Just turn the volume down. Let it play on your phone.
Yeah, just boost those
Silent.
numbers.
Yeah.
While you sleep, you know what I mean? Which is a title of one of the tracks.
When you
right?
sleep, yeah.
When you sleep, the same difference.
What a fucking transition.
I'm very
Jazzed.
loosey goosey about remembering the titles because I am not a fan of this album, really at all.
That's true.
Fucking tell them.
For those who don't know, we covered this album on the regular show last season, along with Age of Pleasure by Janelle Monáe. And Matt was notoriously not a fan of Loveless by My Bloody Valentine.
It revolves somewhere between C and D tier. I don't know how to feel about it in parts. So I will say, on this last listen, I felt a little bit better about it.
Gotcha.
Okay,
And I
don't
can-
turn on me now.
And I can see and I can see the appeal.
Yeah.
But it's still, I don't think for me.
I see.
Which I'm sure the final thoughts will be brief this time because I've already said my piece about it.
Yeah, this is going to be mostly Tom's opinions because we've
Listen.
already said our piece.
This Valentine is going to be bloody because me and Matt are going to beat the shit out of it, okay?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Don't worry, family heads. I'll be there to take some of those blows.
You're Valentine.
Yeah, dude.
Cuts. Boo, 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 boo. Ah, fuck. Ow. I'm sorry. Ooh, I'm into that one. I like that.
Loveless by My Bloody Valentine was released November 4th, 1991 on Creation and Sire and Domino Records and is the second studio album released by legendary shoegaze pioneers My Bloody Valentine. The group formed in 1983 and their founding members consisted of Belinda Butcher on vocals and guitar, Kevin Shield on guitars, vocals and sampling and keys, Kalamo Kiesog on drums, and Debbie Googe on bass. This is a crucial part of MU Core, much like OK Computer. It is also part of the 1001 albums to listen to before you die. Pitchfork rated it its #1 album of the 1990s, and Robert Smith of The Cure listed this as one of his top 3 favorite albums of all time.
My favorite album of all time is actually a Christmas Gift for You from Phil Spector.
I mean, that goes without saying.
like Brian Wilson.
He's never done anything wrong ever.
Mine is Crybaby by Melanie Martinez.
I can't go along with that bit.
Because you're a fucking crybaby.
Tom, I'm going to kill you in real life.
Bring it.
We'll see whose Valentine is bloodier.
See where those views go when I'm gone.
Oh, man.
I'm
Matta-rat-a-tata.
He said it. But that segues us into the next segment, Matt, doesn't it?
What time is it?
It's prediction time. Can I, at the start of this prediction time, just say Belinda Butcher? Was that her name?
Isn't that a sick fucking
rad
name?
fucking name?
Yeah.
Is that the lead vocalist?
Yeah, it's the
right?
lead
That's what you said?
vocalist.
Yeah.
I have a feeling you probably didn't like this album based off of some off-microphone, off-the-record inklings in our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that you probably leaned more toward ass, if I'm being honest.
Than mid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, because I'm trying to compare it to like the last few that we listened to,
Mm-hmm.
I imagine you probably either think of this as the same or lower than OK Computer. I want to say that you gave this like a 3, which is lower, I think, than what I gave OK Computer. Or did I give it a 3?
I think give it. Actually, no, you did give it a 3. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say like, 2.6.
2.6.
A classic 2.6. A 2 out of 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
One might say.
That's what I'm thinking.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Since you said you liked your vocals, that has me a little torn now because I was expecting you to hate this album. Not as much as American Football, but I was expecting you to kind of like right above that. I'm feeling a little more positive on this one. I feel like definitely you didn't like it. I feel like it still falls more
hard to
towards
say.
the don't like. I think I'm gonna go with a 4 on this one.
So you think we're leaning ass, but
I think we're
not
leaning
as
ass.
far ass as Matt.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Gotcha.
Oh, fuck, I don't know. I don't want to say 3.5 just to like piggyback off of yours. I'm gonna stick with 4.
To be fair, he said 2.6.
Oh, he said 2.6.
That was his final.
I see.
Right?
I can change it if you want.
Then I'll take that 3.5. That's
Okay.
my guess.
Okay.
A 2.6 and a 3.5.
Yes.
So someone who notoriously goes for the points.
So what did you think, Tom? Broad thoughts. My Bloody Valentine.
My broad thoughts. I mean, I've never done a true broad thoughts. We're just gonna run through the tracks.
There we go.
I didn't like it. That's where we're gonna start with that.
Yeah.
I took notes for this song a little differently than I do usually, where I just kind of typed out stream of consciousness what I was thinking as each song was playing.
That's what I do all the time.
So like, because a lot of times I try to like formulate like, what do I feel about this song in particular? But it's just like this album was very good about like flowing through the songs. Like I felt like a lot of the ends of some of the songs like
Go into the next
a little
one.
bit
They
to
bleed
like
in.
bleed into the next one, which I thought was actually kind of interesting.
It is cool.
But you'll watch me. You'll not watch. You'll hear me
Yes.
sour on it
Yeah,
as we
very
go
quickly.
through. So Only Shallow is the first song, which I initially said not what I was expecting this to
Yeah.
sound like. I was expecting like more.
Okay, computer-ish.
No, I almost expected like heavy metal-ish.
yeah,
I mean,
gotcha.
My Bloody Valentine. I'm just.
I made the same mistake. Don't worry.
I was thinking more that. I liked the instrumental at this point. I didn't hate the vocals. I actually think her voice is pretty good.
Yeah.
But
You
a
can
lot
hear
of
it.
my issue with the album as a
can't
whole
hear
is
it.
you can barely hear it. It's very, very quiet compared to
The instrumental.
which got places. You can, even in the first song, I was like, not what I was expecting this to sound like. Instrumental's pretty damn good, and I don't hate the vocals. Some of the instrument parts are kind of annoying to me, but mostly good, and I gave the first song a 6 out of 10.
Look at that.
Wow.
Loomer, it's not really doing anything for me,
Mm-hmm.
but I again don't think I hate it, so like 5 out of 10. Touched, cool, kind of ethereal, but it was nothing. It was like
It
a
was a
transition,
transition
right?
song, yeah.
I gave it a 5 out of 10. I feel like most transitions get like a
They
5
land
out of
there.
10 because they're like 30
They're
seconds
to bridge a gap,
and they're just
yeah.
kind of they're not really songs, so it's kind of hard to rank them on the same kind of like Phil
the tier.
Spector.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So here we go. This is the song where the turns tabled.
I see.
To Hear Knows When.
Mm-hmm.
This song was way too fucking long. It was starting to drag. And what the fuck was the like leaf blower / like plane falling out of the sky sound? Yeah,
That's shoegaze,
that
dude.
went the entire song.
Yeah.
Like it played through the entire thing. That drove me insane. I was like, I can't. This was one of the songs that like every call I was like, I can skip like 10 seconds. Like just move ahead a little bit just to see if it changed. And it was still going the whole fucking way through.
I didn't mind it on this re-listen. A lot of the tracks that I really hated, I didn't mind this time around.
Okay.
But I think it was because I knew what I was getting into.
Yeah.
So it definitely helped a bit. I actually would say like some of the tracks were kind of pleasant. But
I'll take that.
we'll keep going with your thoughts because
Yeah.
this is not my time yet.
So after the leaf blowing and falling plane sound effects ended, their last like 30 seconds were like a blissful. I wrote 30 blissful seconds when it became
A
normal music
reprieve.
again. The song gave me a damn migraine, and I gave it a 2 out of 10. Initially, when it first started, I just wrote down 4 out of 10. I was like, oh, I kind of
Yeah.
vibe with this. But it kept
kept
going
going.
and going, and that sustained like sound effect kept
Yeah.
going. And I was not here for it. And it kind of stuck that way for a majority of the rest of the album, if I'm being honest.
I'm curious about your thoughts on the next one.
When You Sleep, God, this shit is exactly the
Wow.
same every song, but at least it doesn't have that insanely annoying sustained leaf blower sound. I gave this one a 4 out of 10. It was definitely better than the previous song. Gets a little funky every
Yeah,
once in a while,
it
which
does.
I didn't hate, but it wasn't enough to make it like it wasn't enough to make it lean past mid. Like it was,
I
you know.
see.
I Only Said,
Mm-hmm.
which is track number 6. The flow and seamless transitions between songs in this album is cool. This is when I noticed them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it seamlessly transitions between shit songs. This song is one of those shit songs. It was way too damn long. 3 out of 10. Track number 7, Coming Alone, came in very strong. Vocals for the most of these songs have kind of waned on me because they're so fucking quiet that they're basically like unintelligible. I can't understand what is being said. I can barely hear them. That being said, I ended up making that comment on the song because I could actually hear the vocals on this one a little bit.
That's cool.
So it reminded me they were there.
Yeah.
And the instrumental is much better on this one. That track number 7 ended up getting a 5 out of 10. We're back to the mid,
Nice.
bang in the middle.
Better than I expected.
Sometimes featured. Sometimes was featured in a movie.
I can
called
see that.
Lost in Translation.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
Definitely sets a somber mood. Kind of makes sense for that movie. And it isn't like super hard on the ears or anything, but it's also not something I want to actively listen to ever again. So 4 out of 10. I'm realizing because I'm doing out of 10, I think my phone is setting these as dates.
Oh,
I wonder if these
April
notes
10th.
these notes are gonna show up on April 10th. Yeah, that's funny.
Only sleeping. June 10th.
Hey, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
9 was Blown a Wish. Interesting sound at the start, and the vocals are kind of nice on this one, but the instrumental is getting a bit old quick. Definitely still leaning higher than most of the other songs, so this one ended up being a 5 out of 10. What You Want Most, track number 10. Most of these songs are like 3 minutes too long than they deserve. This one included. This song just kind of was nothing to me. It was inoffensive, but not really good either. It just kind of exists. 4 out of 10. And then the final track, I believe this is the final track, right? Soon?
Yeah.
Unless I missed one. Maybe I stopped early.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
It doesn't matter if you did, honestly.
Yeah, we
It'll
can
be
just pick
over
it back
soon.
up.
You know what I mean?
I just who cares? You know what I mean? That's really the big thing about it.
fucking
Yeah,
if you
man.
missed
That's
one,
actually what I thought about Ram too.
I mean, kind of. Yeah, maybe you didn't, but I re-listened to that episode. I sure as hell did. The final track was more upbeat, which is kind of a positive, but the overall My Bloody Valentine sound is really rough around the edges, which is ultimately a negative mark for me. 4 out of 10.
And that's it.
I have my final thoughts written
Yeah.
out too. I might adjust them a little bit.
Okay.
Because as I've over the last, I officially made these notes and did my final ranking last night, and throughout the day it has waned a little bit lower than what I had given it, but not much. And
Okay.
I think you'll be happy about that.
I will say I'm genuinely surprised that in comparison to some of the other albums we review, just not how much higher, but in comparison how much higher these scores have gotten since other albums.
Yeah, this definitely fell into
Like a grace, not a Graceland.
It's included in my final thoughts. It gave me it hit me the same way Talking Heads and Joy Division did, which
Gotcha.
is just I get it.
Yeah.
I see
Why people like
why
this.
people would like this, I guess. But it's so not for me.
I
Like
see.
I just like yeah, it's just one of those like these songs are definitely songs that exist, and that's where I
that's
kind of
cool.
stand on it. And like if it makes some people happy and they enjoy listening to them, incredible. I'm not one of them.
Well, I'm glad you gave it a
yeah.
listen at all.
I feel like I came in a lot more negative than my scoring ended up being. I think it's mostly that one song that just had like the sustained
Knows
like
When.
leaf blower
Yeah.
sound effect.
That's fair.
That shit drove me insane. I was
That shoegaze, dude.
I was losing my god. What does that even mean?
It's a type of genre that I actually have. I'm using my old notes from that episode. It's on a physical notebook as opposed to my phone.
I use my old notes too.
I still have my notebook, but every time I go to listen to the album, I'm already in my bed and it's
Yeah.
across the room.
So
I
it's
just
not
use
worth
my
it.
phone.
I lost the one that I had for season 3.
Damn,
like
I
after the
still have
Prince
all mine.
episode, I don't know where the fuck it went. Yeah.
I
It
want
was
to
stolen.
Yeah, I want to transcribe the notes off my phone into the notebook at some point,
Gotcha.
and then we can raffle off the notebook.
Yes.
for charity.
Sell them on our
For
Patreon.
charity.
Yeah,
Yeah, someone's gonna really want those.
We'll raise the same amount of money we have in our Stripe account. But shoegaze is a genre defined by its distorted guitars layered with effects and feedback, and also its use of guitar pedals, hence the name shoegaze, because they're looking at their shoes.
you can tell that they were looking at their shoes because they clearly weren't looking at what the fuck they were music they were making. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
See, this guy gets it.
This guy fucking gets it. They weren't looking at the levels for the vocals and the instrumental. Need to even that out a little, you know? They were not syncopated, you know what I mean?
Those beats sure were off.
Someone was beaten up.
That what a bloody Valentine.
Oh man,
The implication.
the implication.
Of your rating, Matt. What
Yeah.
did you think about Loveless?
Matstery?
Oh yeah, what's your mastery?
A Matt story. Oh, do you want the first time I listened to this or the second time?
Maybe it's like a full story
No, I'm
arc.
kidding. It's not gonna be a very compelling story. I can tell you that much.
Wait,
Let me actually see because I could pull up some of my old notes just for reference.
do you remember what you were doing during it? Because I remember last time we were talking about like how you were taking a dump.
Taking a shit during
Yeah,
Paranoid
were you,
Android.
were you
yeah.
maybe masturbating during one of these songs?
I don't know if I want to. I would want to masturbate.
Was it
during this
bloody?
song.
That's fair.
I hope not.
Hey,
It's a lot of
No
blood.
shame.
it happens.
Let me see. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Largely, I gotta say, my thoughts on this album have not like drastically changed like American football, if we're using that as like my point of reference. I didn't have that like aha moment when listening to this. I do definitely see the appeal, but I still think largely like not even like shoegaze, because I've looked into other shoegaze artists. I think just the overall like sound of this album still is not for me.
I see.
And I hope I can explain a little bit better as to why, because I feel like last time I struggled like a little bit. But I think it really might just boil down to it being more of a me thing. Like I can definitely see the appeal, and I think objectively it's impressive how, especially at this time, they were like making these heavily distorted sounds, but able to make them so like peaceful in a way.
Ethereal, dreamy.
Yeah, like, and I will agree because I actually listened to this episode just to get a reference of
nice.
all the stuff that you liked.
Yeah.
In a way, so I can maybe see if I can if I could disagree. Which opinion wise, probably maybe, but
He
like
came with fucking talking points against
bro,
our
wanted
data.
I want you know.
He's got a spreadsheet open right now. He's
all the
spreading
points.
his sheets right now.
she spread on my sheet till I
Bloody.
To my Excel.
Valentine. Yeah. But I think that it's more of a personal thing. Like I can definitely see the appeal. It's just not really like an area of shoegaze that I think I like.
I gotcha.
I think I'm glad you guys like the vocals. I personally still don't really care for them.
I mean, they were barely there, to be fair. Like, I could barely hear them.
And I think like the fatigue is what still drives me to like not click with it as much, because I'm kind of, I don't know.
Like more variety in your music.
Maybe not even that. I think it's just a matter of like, I really like seeing how much I can absorb in music on my first like few listens, or even just in general.
Yeah.
I think I just like being able to hear my lyrics. Like, I don't know.
You're fucking telling me.
and it's
Yeah,
not-
Dude,
absolutely.
what a crazy take.
and it's not like
You're off the podcast.
but I
How dare you?
An opinion about music that's negative? Get out of here. It's my thing.
but I think although my opinions didn't change, I feel like I've said the same sentence like 4 times. I definitely think I was too harsh on it, but my opinions, like, I still am not like,
Like what you don't like, you still don't like.
yeah, what I don't like, I still don't like, but I can acknowledge that it's not like an objective thing. I think it's more of just like a taste thing.
I am curious. Have you listened to like any like dream pop? Because at least this says shoegaze, but like any more like dream pop kind of stuff, like Beach House esque.
I have listened
Yeah.
to Beach House. Depression Cherry, is that their album?
I think so.
Yeah, no. Days of Candy is one of my favorite songs, actually.
Do you guys know who my favorite member of Beach House is?
John Stamos.
John Stamos.
Close.
My coworker didn't believe me when I told him he was.
He was a part of the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
I think you brought this up last
He
episode
did
or
not
one of the
believe
last
me.
few.
It's pretty hard to believe.
Did you believe when you told him that John Stamos is my favorite member?
He still
Or did
doesn't.
that not come up for some
It
reason?
didn't come up.
Why? Why not?
Why didn't you?
I don't know.
Are you trying to erase me from your life? Yeah, looks like something just got added to my list of trauma.
My friends abandoned me. I want to go back to the Green Goblin.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna go play Left 4 Dead.
I'm gonna watch the problem solve.
At least the witch wants to be around me. As long as I make some noise.
Maybe the problem solvers can solve
my
this
problem.
problem.
Oh my god!
They didn't. They made it worse.
Yeah, I have listened to Dream Pop,
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, me too.
but
Is it like a similar situation with shoegaze where you like that stuff more than this album?
yeah, I think it's just honestly the vibes are just not really for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like even on other shoegaze albums, I can at least like still make out the lyrics a little bit better. So just it's not my thing. But I think honestly, this last listen, I hated it a little less.
That's good.
So it'll still stay in the low C, which is I think where I left it the last time.
Maybe I haven't listened to the episode since it came out.
With the originally I said D, but then in the family album
The ranking, yeah.
I bumped it up to C.
Gotcha.
And then remember what I put over top of it? I put Cracked Rear View
Oh,
by Hootie
yeah.
and the Blowfish because I enjoyed that album, but I didn't want to put it too much higher.
You coward.
I could have. No, I couldn't have.
Follow
Honestly.
your goddamn heart, Matt, and don't think about what. We're not here to earn respect, okay? We're here to be true to ourselves.
Because we're tangled up in blue.
That's pretty much my main thing.
Gotcha.
Nothing's changed.
Any
Nothing's new.
Tracks standout highlights for you?
I think Only Shallow definitely grew on me a little bit because that instrumental hook is good.
It's banging. I love it.
To Hear Knows When also not that bad. I do have a couple of them liked.
Okay.
Just to
That's pretty sweet. There's proof.
just to I started playing one. Just to prove or really just to remind myself when I go back in my notes which ones
Yeah. You
I didn't
prefer.
mind as much as other ones. Blown a Wish, I would say also.
Mm-hmm.
And then When You Sleep, I would say is probably out of all the ones I have liked, the best one.
Yeah, it's their most popular for a reason.
Though
Banger.
Soon did grow on me a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's pretty much it though.
I see.
I'm a little less hateful of this album,
Coward.
but it is what it is. To be honest with you, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
But I totally respect you if it's your thing. Not you, AJ. I meant the general.
I see.
Yeah.
I know you don't respect
We
me.
will never. Neither of us will ever respect you. Add it to the list.
We're moving out of 123 Providence, Rhode Island.
Yeah, me and
At
Matt are moving
Catboy at
across the
Hotmail
street.
at Rule 34.
Yeah, me and
You're
Matt-
at Rule 35 lane.
Yeah, we're moving to Rule
the
35 lane.
street right around the
Yeah.
block. Yeah.
Damn.
We're actually the house right across the street.
That is going on the list. The Green Goblin would never do that to me.
That's going on the list.
Much like Matt, my opinions also haven't changed. I still love this album. I think it's fantastic.
Ugh.
I think largely because I know you kind of say in your episode, was this one of the albums that when you're working at your shitty job, you were kind of
Like this was the one that survived that
with
the
American
negativity.
football?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rough.
In your album Renaissance.
It was this was a kind of a light at the end of the tunnel. When I was working that job, I was like, this album fucking rules.
I think that's part of it with me too. It didn't find me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
This album
was just given to you.
was just given to me.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, much like Kimono My House, it's not that large on me.
A fucking man.
There's a lot of things large on Matt, but those albums are not.
It's not. Put it in the comments. What do you think it is?
Put your traumas and also list what you think is large on Matt, and we'll try to discern which
He
is which.
masturbates with it.
That's your hint, but it's not what you think.
You'll never know. What's large on Matt and your traumas, and we have to discern which is
Exactly.
which
is
list.
the correct answer.
Oh man.
But I love Loveless. I think it's a really good album. For like Baby's first shoegaze album, I think it's a really cool introduction. Just how they combine.
I thought you were about to be like, it's a good album for babies. You know what I mean? You have to be like,
you can't deny that.
Show this to your Have you ever seen a baby listen to Loveless?
I don't love this album. You can't. He's got a point.
Yeah, dude. I've seen like 3 babies listen to this album. They turned out fine.
I don't want to jump the gun. 10 out of 10 album. Actually, I take it back. This is the greatest album of all time.
It's like the Baby Einstein of albums.
I never thought about, is the music good for babies before, and now that I've found that thought process,
8 track 10 out of 10.
Every album we've ever reviewed on this podcast is a 10 out of 10 now.
Unknown Pleasures.
Babies love that. Everything's unknown and pleasurable to a baby.
talking about like fucking irrational childhood fears. Yeah. Fucking Ian Curtis.
Yeah, my dad made me listen to My Bloody Valentine when I was at daycare.
Babe Out of Hell by Meatloaf.
Babe Out of Hell.
Yeah, Baby Out of Hell.
Oh yeah, there's a baby on Nevermind on the cover. Only Shallow is a great opener. I think it's fantastic. I think it sets the tone quite well. It's like the heaviest track on the album with this almost like metal kind of riff, but then it also switches up to the dream poppy choruses, which also fucking rule. I love how they blend the harder shoegazy sound with the softer, more ethereal dream pop elements. I feel like it blends wonderfully. And while I can see the complaints of not hearing the vocals, as someone who is not very much of a lyrics guy, I think the performance is well done. And when you can decipher the lyrics, I think they're cool. I kind of like searching around the mix to like discover new things when I re-listen to this album, because there's definitely a lot to gain.
I think also thematically it works too.
Yeah.
'Cause, you know, like it plays very well to the genre, because amongst all that chaos, it's a very like
Subtle inclusion.
It's like it's buried.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's because like this album is very much abrasive in themes, more like it.
Yeah,
Not really
totally.
abrasive per se, but like not like
Maybe like a little uncomfortable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's about a lot of the tracks are about being like socially awkward and like sort of like a not
Like approachable.
relationship
Yeah.
in like a person. So like
It's called Loveless for a
Talk
reason.
about
Yeah.
the list of childhood traumas. I mean,
Shit, this album's speaking to me directly.
So I'll give it to you there. It's just honestly for me, it's just a personal preference thing.
Yeah. I really like Belinda Butcher's vocals. I think they're very like well done. She has a very nice vocal range and she fits the sound of this album very well. Also, I love the drums all throughout this album. Just like how many fills occur after like each like stanza is really fun. And just like how they sound, they always carry so much weight even though they're buried in that production. I like Loomer. I think it's a solid follow-up to Only Shallow, especially with that more kind of ethereal outro that it goes into, with almost like a punk kind of sounding guitar influence with that, as well as like Belinda Butcher's ethereal vocals. It's a cool juxtaposition. Touch is okay. I don't really care for it. It's a transition song, and it's very weird. I like to hear Knows When. When You Sleep is a banger. It's probably my favorite track on the album. It's like one of the more traditional sounding songs on here with the very familiar song structure and just like a little more clearer vocals and just a kick-ass guitar riff.
I think that's why I like it the most out of all the ones that I had liked.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty just like it's very approachable as opposed to other things on this album. I really like I Only Said. I really love the drum pattern that's on here. It's a very fun syncopation, as you would know.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, the drum pattern definitely syncopated with the symbolism
yeah,
of the lyricism
and the cymbals.
Lyrics
and the symbols. Yeah, when you really dissect it, it was made like the syncopation lines up perfectly for babies when you think about it.
For their developing brains.
Yeah, and it actually makes them smarter.
That's true. It's proven.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think is a pretty like nice come down for the album, like as like the slowest, almost heaviest in like emotional kind of sense. I think it's a very nice addition to the album.
This is where you fuck all the way down.
This is exactly where you fuck
come
all the way down, and
if
then
you
you
will.
cry afterwards.
Hey, sometimes you gotta.
Exactly. I really like Blown a Wish. Reminds me of the Cocteau Twins. Just it's like the most dream poppy on the album. It's like very light, very ethereal. Belinda Butcher's vocals honestly kind of soar with that sound, and it's just a really nice soundscape and ambiance they provide. What You Want is also pretty solid. It's like almost kind of like a 90s emo track with like Dinosaur Jr. was the influence that I said. It's a like When You Sleep kind of standard song structure stuff.
Who the fuck is Dinosaur Jr.?
You never heard Dinosaur Jr.,
No,
dude?
you can't graze past Dinosaur Jr. when I'm on the podcast.
Dinosaur Jr. rules.
God, I know I'm gonna hate
You're
his music.
probably going to hate the music.
I know I'm gonna hate his music.
Yeah.
But
That could be a future episode. They are pretty
man.
beloved.
Are they?
They are.
How are there so many fucking beloved albums that I've never even fucking heard of? Like My Bloody Valentine sounds a little familiar.
Yeah.
But Dinosaur Jr. seems so up my alley.
You want an album for babies. Dinosaur Jr.
Oh man.
I know Walk the Dinosaur. Does that count?
From Ice Age 3, Dawn of the Dinosaurs.
Don't get on the
Everybody
floor.
walk down
Dawn of the Dinosaurs. Jr.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I know the Continental Drift from Ice Age.
That was pretty good.
Oh my god.
Actually never
the
saw it.
album covers for
Yeah.
Dinosaur Jr.
They're pretty
are
wild.
Fucking insane.
Yeah. And then I think Soon is a really cool closer. It's like the most different sounding on the album, almost like a hip hop esque kind of beat that it has, and it's like the most clear as well.
Yes, I believe I compared it to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes.
Very briefly.
But I love Loveless. I think it's a fantastic shoegaze album. I think it's just a really pleasant listen all the way through. Just it's really cool dissecting each kind of part and discovering something new every time you listen to it. And I think it's just a really well done album. But Tom, now that begs the question, did you hate this album?
Probably. I was leaning towards it.
Leaning
at
towards
least.
hate?
Yeah. Mid-leaning hate, you know?
Mm-hmm. Right on the crack or inside
Right.
the crack?
It's not inside the crack. So
Okay.
I definitely think when I rated it last night, I've definitely started to move it down,
Yeah.
which I feel like does make it seem like I'm rigging this, so one of you is always correct. Because I initially gave it a 4 out of 10, and I
Wow.
was coming in here like, I think I want to go a little lower to like a 3.5-ish, which is exactly what AJ said.
I'm quitting. I'm fucking
That's
quitting.
no-
This.
There's
I could
way.
see a world where it ends up at 3. It's hard to do my final rankings without entering them because I almost need like the other albums we reviewed as sort of like a
Like a
to
baseline.
compare them to.
Yeah.
Because this one's definitely leaning towards the like Talking Heads Joy
Yeah.
Division section,
Mhm.
which is the like 2 to 4 range. So you were both pretty much nailed it. It's just a matter of where it ends up falling between each of those albums.
Mhm.
And it's probably going to be somewhere like 3 to 3.5. So it
Gotcha.
might lean closer to Matt if it ends up 3 because you were 2.6.
Don't try to make
But
me
it's
feel better.
probably going to hit somewhere in like the 3.5. I could see it landing in the 4 potentially as I
Mhm.
like give it a little more time to think about and I like re-go through. I might try to not re-listen to full albums, but just like put on little bits
Yeah.
of some of the albums just to remind myself
Like
of
what
them.
they sound like.
So you'll get the official like ranking of all of my albums at the end of the season.
Yes.
My Bloody Valentine. They're British, right?
I think they're Irish.
Oh, okay.
Let me.
So am I.
My bloody
Oh, top of the morning to ya. Me bloody Valentine.
Yeah, I think they're Irish. I'll
My
double check
bloody
that.
Valentine.
Me bloody Valentine.
I love my Lucky Charm.
Ooh.
If they're not, I'll put it in the
Heart stars
description.
and doors.
Hourglass is
bloody-
rainbows and tasty.
Red Valentine.
Social anxiety trauma. Anxiety for all.
What a great podcast we have. But yeah,
Yeah.
like 3.5-ish.
Wow.
Somewhere in that range. I feel like Matt's been doing better this season though. Overall.
I don't think so.
Actually, I think you guys swapped. I
Yes.
think you nailed it season 2
1.
and season 1. I don't. It's so confusing
I know,
because
yeah.
Tom Hates Albums is on
Its own show.
technically
Season 2,
different
but it's
seasons.
season
3 of the
But I also
family
feel
album.
like you nailed your predictions for like the first couple episodes too.
I think
if
you got
remember.
Prince pretty well.
like fun and
Oh yeah, fun.
like
Forgot
the
about
my
Yeah.
guest episodes before I was a member of the
official
pod
member, yeah.
officially.
that. Officially.
Yeah. When I was the first guest to appear twice.
It's true.
That is true.
Without needing another guest. man,
Without
that's my
needing
idea.
another guest to like pull the fucking weight. You know what I mean? I'm as entertaining as two people combined if you think about it. Ben and Evan. Let's be honest. Evan's pulling the weight. You know what I mean?
Jesus Christ.
You know what I mean? Been
Oh,
there, done that.
Ben
you
will
know what
expect
I
a
mean?
comment from you soon.
It's definitely leaning ass.
Yeah.
Not as ass as I feel like I made it seem right away, but definitely more ass than I made it seem in my notes. Does that make sense? Like, I came in real hot,
and then you
I'm probably
realized,
hotter than I should have,
Yeah.
and then I read through my notes and I was like, I'm being too nice, and we found like a happy middle ground.
Yeah, sweet spot.
Yeah, and I feel like you both kind of nailed that for me. And I also think Matt was persuaded lower by how hot I came in earlier today, so I can't really fault you that much for that.
It's okay.
Yeah, it was nice to have an ally this week, even if you kind of pulled back a little bit more than I would have personally liked, but I respect it.
To be honest with you, I feel like I kind of got it all out in that episode.
He likes the album now.
I'm just jaded at this point.
You're like Lou
Fucking
Reed.
Amen.
I'm like Lou Reed. Yeah, I'm gonna make a podcast that's absolutely unlistenable.
It's just noise.
Unlistenable. Oh, wait a second. It's this one.
Yeah.
I don't know who that was to. Yeah, it's this one,
You
AJ.
know,
I'm sorry.
You want to talk about albums that are good for babies? The Family Album.
Oh my God.
Put headphones on your
such a
pregnant belly and let your baby
I think-
infants listen, and they'll come out smarter.
If
Imagine,
Loveless
like-
makes you snow, you go first.
Imagine like the Nate Roos like jump scares, but they're putting out.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
We're drowning in piss. Baby's
That'll
like,
make you smarter.
yeah.
yeah,
The baby will think it's drowning in piss
We're
because
like
of
the
all
Rick
the.
and Morty of all podcasts, because Rick and Morty is so
it's
You need that
smart.
high
It
IQ.
can only be this
the
dumb.
baby's gonna
Yep.
want Szechuan sauce when it comes out.
Well, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
Largely the same.
Yeah.
I think maybe I could let up on this album a little bit.
No.
But it's just still not for me whatsoever, if I'm being honest. I feel like this is like fucking Palpatine with Darth Vader.
Yes. Do it. It's okay. By the end of
Unlimited
next
power!
season, Matt's gonna throw me into the fucking
the chamber.
combustion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow Palpatine has
Yeah, and then I'm
returned.
gonna return
Exactly.
and ruin the
dynamic.
ninth season of the show, eighth or ninth season,
After Matt and I are killed off,
and I'll have a jetpack, and Matt can be like, he flies.
they fly now. They fly now.
Yeah, largely unchanged. I don't remember what my exact number ranking was, but I'm still gonna probably hold it in like C minus. Just don't really see it getting any higher, just out of personal preference. I can acknowledge that they definitely worked really, really hard to achieve the sound that they were trying to go for. It's just unfortunately not a sound that like I really seek out. I like the guitars generally on this album. I just kind of wish that like it had more impact, like dynamic wise in the actual mix.
Yeah.
But I understand that it is a genre thing, and it's for, I guess, a portion of the genre that I'm not the biggest fan of. But
Amen.
hard work is still hard work. Album is still album. It's just not really for me. Case in point.
And that's fair. Is it still C minus?
I think so.
Welcome to the dark side, Matthew.
I think it's gonna be C minus.
Help me kill Mace Windu.
Is that me? The not black man?
I don't think that's
Unlimited power.
yeah. Pretty much the same.
Yeah. Well, yeah, my opinions also still are the same from that episode. I still very much love Loveless. I think every instrumentalist is fantastic on here. I think the vocals are very ethereal and airy and definitely lend themselves well to the overall sound and like the overall haze that this album is coated in. The production is just like really fascinating. Like even though it's not the most polished, it's... I'm sorry, did I interrupt your final thoughts, Matt?
I didn't do it
No, but
intentionally.
to be fair, I interrupted
Yeah.
a lot.
I didn't do it intentionally at first, and then it kind of became is this really me? Or
I don't know
I
what the
don't
fuck
get this
that
one.
means.
I wasn't sure if I was the one making the noise
Oh,
at first, so
okay,
I
okay.
was like,
I got you, I got you.
Gotcha.
I thought you were quoting something.
Yeah.
is this really me? My opinions of Loveless, is this really
Is this
me?
really me?
Matt's having
No,
an
I-
existential crisis right now.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I
I was
don't
trying
like
to
an
test.
album.
I was trying to see if I was the one making the noise because I wasn't sure if
Gotcha.
it was me or not.
Yes, I see.
Because the headphones were like altering my sense of
Yeah,
hearing.
I
That's
got
kind
you.
of- yeah.
This is going to be really funny when that noise was not picked up by the mics, but you leave this in anyway.
Yeah, Loveless is fantastic. Like I said, the vocals really lend themselves well to the sound and the overall production that coats this album. Very dreamy, very ethereal haze that like the keys and the guitars kind of provide. And even like though it bounces heavy and soft very well with like the different kind of tones on the guitars and the bass lines. Special shout out to the drum work. Kalamo Kiesaga like actually absolutely kills it. It's one of my favorite like drum performances, I would say, on a shoegaze album. Just how prominent they are just really always makes it fun to revisit. And I can see why it's like so beloved like by all these like different like outlets and people. It just is such like an encapsulation of the genre and like really kind of set the tone for where it was going to go in the future while also blending in elements and making it their own kind of thing. I can see why Robert Smith of The Cure really likes it since it was so different from like what he was used to. I think it's just really well done. I think it definitely deserves all the credit it gets. If you haven't listened to it, go check it out for yourself. Make your own opinion, not based off any of ours. But if you agree, that's pretty cool too.
You can take my opinions as cold hard fact.
You can definitely take mine as not cold hard fact.
I don't give a shit. Do what you want. But I'm going to stick with this album rating that I gave on the last episode. I think was an A+, so I think it's going to stay there.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So Tom, why do you think people like this album?
I don't know. So I can't describe how. It's just one of those things where like when I hear them, I'm like, oh yeah, people will have shitty opinions about this. Like when I hear certain I just like, I can tell. It's just, there's truly no way to rationally like describe how. I've just listened to enough at this point with the podcast. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's a bit of a like unfair advantage I have where I know every album I'm being given is on the like 1001 albums to listen to before you die. And yet most of these albums make me want to kill myself. So
Jesus.
That's not true. That was a bit harsh. Most of them are bad though. Most ones I've listened to are bad.
They're not bad. You just have bad taste.
Maybe they have bad taste.
Different taste.
These albums are bad.
Nobody's taste is truly bad.
And none of these albums are bad either. They're just different.
Speak for your fucking self. Listen, I was called different a lot as a kid, and I know that meant bad.
Would you rather be called bad to your face?
No, but I think that would have been better for me. I think I would have healed a lot sooner, okay?
Let's release the trauma episode.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So yeah, I think this album's enjoyed because I don't fucking know. Honestly, I don't know how to describe it. It's just kind of like a sixth sense that I get now, which I think is my answer every month on this podcast now. Especially when it's an album I don't like because it's hard to like. I don't know. I listen to it. I'm like, people with music taste that I wouldn't agree with would love this, which is most people, is what I've gathered. Like even today at work, I mentioned, I told someone new, like we have a new employee and the podcast came out. I was like, yeah, I don't really like albums. She was like, how do you not like albums? Like, do you care? I was like, when did people start giving a shit? I don't know.
Music is powerful.
I guess so. Yeah. But yeah, I just don't get it. It's not for me. Like I like music.
Yeah.
I just don't like the album format, which is the whole point of the show. And if you're a new listener and you somehow made it this far, now you know the point of the show.
If you didn't get that.
We get it, though.
Yeah. We do understand.
We can say it now. They're committed at this point.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think that I got my point across there. There's something there.
Yeah, dissect that.
Yeah,
do with that what you will.
Good luck editing that.
Oh, man. There's already plenty.
Any closing remarks, gents?
I don't think so. My Bloody Valentine, you know?
Really says it all.
It does.
Top of the morning to ya. Me Bloody Valentine. Don't you know?
Well, we hope you have a great Valentine's Day this month, family heads.
Hopefully it's not absolutely loveless.
Or bloody. That'd be pretty bad.
Or Valentine. No, that doesn't work.
This has been another episode of Tom Hates Albums.
Yeah, I fucking do.
I'm your host, AJ Tenari.
I'm Matt Glass.
And I'm Tom Murphy.
And we will see you again next month. Thank you for your constant love and support and for always listening.
Peace.
Shout out to Evan.
Shout out to Evan.
Shout out to Evan.